There we are. Okay, I think we're good. I'm going to move you guys over here. Okay, cool. Hi everybody and welcome to our Wednesday night class. Thank you so much for joining. This is our introduction to essential oils class. So just to kind of take it back to the start, I'm just going to talk about what essential oils are, where they come from, and a little bit about the company behind them and how we can use them. If you have any questions at any point, just feel free to unmute yourself and ask, or if you'd like to add anything in as well, just please do. So I'm just going to start with a little introduction to myself and to my journey, and then we shall get started. So my name is Kirsty. I am 41 with two beautiful children, Ashley and Ollie. I am married to Kenny, and we have a cat and a dog as well. Ashley is 23, Ollie is 4.5, and motherhood was definitely much easier than the first time round when I was a little bit younger. I am Reiki attuned. I am going to be a trainee life heal therapist in Life Heal in Lithgow after lockdown. That was very unfortunate timing, unfortunately. And I'm also an essential oil educator and wellness advocate. So I have been using doTerra essential oils for just over a year and a half, after doing some research for my own health condition. In November 2013, I developed some strange symptoms in my legs and my right arm. Ended up having to go and get some scans done. The doctors thought that I had MS. Thankfully, I didn't have MS, but I was left undiagnosed. They didn't know what was going on. So fast forward 5 years, and the symptoms came back. And in March 2018, I was diagnosed with functional neurological disorder. So this is FND, is a neurological condition which affects your nervous system. Has lots of different symptoms. So I suffered neuropathy, extreme fatigue, I had a right-sided weakness, memory issues, which is why I always have notes with me wherever I go. And it's just a few kind of symptoms. By July 2018, I was walking with a walking stick. So I was dismissed from work on incapacity grounds at the end of 2018 after being off sick all year. And it actually turned out to be one of the best things that has ever happened to me. I discovered doTerra in July 2018 after doing my own research and realising that I wanted to help myself heal. I hadn't really had much input. Although I was attending my GP regularly, she had told me that there wasn't anything that she could do for me really, and I just had to manage the symptoms, which I knew wasn't true, but you know, I was more than happy to not be put on tablets because that's not what I wanted. So I did my own research. I tried a few different holistic therapies on my healing journey, but I knew doTerra was something that I wanted to be involved with. So I joined up in the November of that year. And I started off with a family essentials kit, which has the top 10 essential oils in it. And I also got the lifelong vitality supplements, and I have not looked back. I also discovered through ill health that I was on a journey, and I vividly recall the moment that I broached this subject with my husband, because I'd had this feeling kind of brought to me, and so I suppose it was my intuition kind of planting seeds, and it'd been in my head for about 2 weeks before I actually plucked up the courage to utter the words, I am on a journey, because it's just not words that I would normally use. And it sounded a bit woohoo and out there. So I was quite relieved that he didn't actually laugh right in my face. I think he handled it quite well. And I also kind of realised that I have a life purpose, which is to help people and to help them with their own healing journeys, and hopefully just inspire people to just to get out there and get outside their comfort zones and live their best lives. And this is something that I'm incredibly passionate about, and I'm extremely grateful and fortunate to know this and to be able to carry it out. So through my little journey, I started up my little business with essential oils, and I've been loving hearing the amazing difference that they've been making in people's lives. As I said, I've been using essential oils and supplements for well over a year as part of my daily routines to support and promote my health. I've been using the lifelong vitality supplements, which I would not be without now. I'm a massive advocate of them, and I really think that everybody should be taking them. And I also use various different oils to support me mentally, physically, emotionally. Copaiba and frankincense being my two of my main kind of daily oils that I would use to support my nervous system and my cellular health. So back to essential oils. Nowadays, many of us are attuned to the kind of modern approach. So when we're dealing with aches and pains, or feeling a little bit run down, we tend to reach to the medicine cabinet for some painkillers or some cold and flu remedies. And it's really only been over the last couple of years that I suppose my awareness has peaked, and I've started asking questions and realising that just because you're doing something that's the way you've always done it doesn't mean to say that's the way that it has to be. Especially when it comes to dealing with symptoms and illnesses. Quite these over-the-counter remedies are made from isolated synthetic agents, the compounds of plants which are synthetically recreated in a lab. And these all have many known and unknown side effects, and they're really just developed to manage the symptoms. So quite often what happens is we end up taking more tablets to deal with the side effects and end up suffering in the long term from these medications. And unfortunately, our GPs just don't have the time to really delve into too much detail. And I feel all too often we're sent away with tablets to deal with the symptom but not treat the underlying issue. And feel like we're kind of turning our backs on what we've been given from nature, something that people have used for thousands of years before us. So doTerra really want to try to help turn this around and revolutionise the healthcare system. I would like to point out at this moment that I'm absolutely not against medications, and in many cases they are necessary, and I do still take tablets for acid reflux and heartburn. I've been on them for about 20 years, and unfortunately I haven't been able to come off them yet, and it's driving me mad. So I do understand that that there are occasions for tablets, but I just prefer to try and use a natural alternative as much as possible before heading to the medicine cabinet. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about doTerra and what makes them so different from any other essential oil company. One, because I'm so passionate about this company and all that they do, and two, because I feel it's really important for you to know who they are as a company, what they do, their ethics and their missions. It's important to know what you're part of every time you buy an essential oil from doTerra and where your money goes. So doTerra, which is a Latin for gift of the earth, are an American company. They were founded in 2008 by a mix of healthcare and business experts, and their mission was and is to change the world one drop, one person, one community at a time. They do this whilst empowering people, families and communities along the way. Sourcing the best and helping the most is one of their little taglines, which I think is really nice. doTerra essential oils are 100% pure, and this is so important to know when it comes to using essential oils. We're using these oils to support ourselves as part of a natural wellness lifestyle to help lower our exposure to hazardous chemicals and other toxins. So why would you want to use an essential oil that wasn't 100% pure? And at the moment, there actually is no governing body overlooking essential oil companies, which is incredible, really. So doTerra have taken it upon themselves to create their own standard for testing their oil's purity and potency against. So CPTG is the standard that they came up with, and this involves stringent testing, both in-house and third-party testing to ensure that their oils are pure and free from contaminants, fillers, pesticides, or any other kind of synthetics. And they are so committed to ensuring their oil's purity that if they couldn't find a pure source of an oil in line with their CPTG standards, then they would simply just be without it. It's so important, and purity is something that they would absolutely never compromise on. Around 70 to 80% of essential oils on the market nowadays are synthetically produced. And the APRC, which is the Aromatic Plant Research Centre, who do third-party testing for doTerra, did some tests a while ago on essential oils from around 50 different companies to check for the purity, and only 3 of those companies came back consistently pure, one of which was doTerra, which means that 47 other companies had some form of adulteration. And many of these companies are the companies that are advertising their oils as pure, which is why doTerra are so passionate about ensuring their oils are nothing but the best. They're just absolutely transparent about this, what they do and how they do it. And there's a really nice little website called Source to You. You can go on the website and have a look at the sourcing stories. There's lots of lovely stories telling you about the impact on the communities, how the oils are sourced, where they're sourced from, and you can also actually on the bottom of your bottles, so that's a little bottle there, on the bottom of your bottles there's a little batch number, and you can actually put that in on the Source to You website, and you can find out the kind of testing records of each batch of oil, which is incredible. I don't think there's many, if any, other companies out there that do that. So I wanted to talk about the co-impact sourcing. This is an amazing initiative that doTerra have set up, and through this they have over 100 essential oils on the market, which are sourced from over 40 different countries. Over half of these countries are developing countries, so through co-impact sourcing, doTerra is quite literally lifting these communities out of poverty. When sourcing the plants for their oils, doTerra source them from their natural habitat, which is where a plant grows best. Whilst doing this, they're looking for villages and communities that are in need of a little extra support. doTerra don't actually own any of the lands that they source from. Instead, they go in and they work with the communities, empowering them and helping them to create partnerships, to sustainable jobs, and ensuring them a reliable, regular income for them and their families. doTerra work with these people, increasing their knowledge of the land, training them where needed, and encouraging the harvesters and growers to set up little cooperative groups so they can share the benefits as a community. And doTerra also ensure that people are treated and paid fairly, which up until the point that doTerra had came on the scene had not been the case. So obviously this means better livelihoods for many families to allow a much better quality of life. There's so many, if you go into YouTube, there's so many lovely little videos, sourcing videos and behind the bottle videos, which shows you just exactly what goes on through the sourcing, and they're just amazing. They're very heartwarming. Make sure you have a tissue with you. Another initiative that doTerra operate or work with is Healing Hands Foundation, and this is a non-profit charity set up by doTerra, which has a goal of helping those unable to help themselves, which is reflected in communities all around the world. It works alongside the co-impact sourcing to support communities and different projects such as building schools, training facilities, health clinics and hospitals, and providing clean water systems. And they've partnered with many different global charities too to support so many great causes, including supporting sex-trafficked children and Days for Girls, which helps to provide access to menstruation, education and supplies for women and girls throughout the world. And also wellness advocates such as myself can set up some fundraisers, and doTerra will match all donations that they get, which is just amazing. And there's also 2 products that doTerra have. Hope Blend, which comes in a little roller bottle, and also the Rose hand lotion, and all sales from these products go directly to the Healing Hands Foundation. And in the last year alone, they've raised almost €350,000 for this amazing cause, which is just incredible. Sorry to go on a bit. It's something that it makes me happy hearing all these lovely little stories. So these pictures show, the top picture shows the countries across the world that we source oils from, and the other, oh, I feel like I've missed, oh, see, this is what happens when, sorry, I feel like I've missed a slide. Right, I'm just going to carry on. I knew something was going to happen. Anyhow, so yeah, so the top image shows the oils where we source all our oils from. The bottom picture shows a boswellia tree, which is where we source our frankincense from. And the reason that I've realised that I've missed a slide out somewhere is because I was talking about oils and what a plant needs to be able to survive in the conditions that it grows in, and why the oils are so pure and so potent. And when you look at this picture of the tree and the conditions that this tree is grown in, it's quite amazing that anything can grow there, really. So the plants from where the oils come from, as I said, they're all grown and harvested indigenously, so in their own natural environment, which is where they grow best and free from pesticides. And this is obviously of the utmost importance, as there's so many factors that play a part in each plant growing optimally. So things like the temperature, having the correct temperature, the climate and the soil, time of day harvested, all these impact the composition of an essential oil. So doTerra deals directly with the farmers and distillers to ensure that there's no chance of contamination along the way. So next, sorry, I've changed the order now, I shouldn't have done that. So anyhow, let's just forget about that and it's all good. What are essential oils? Essential oils, as we know, have been used for thousands and thousands of years for a variety of different reasons, from flavouring food to beauty reasons, spiritual and medicinal reasons. They are volatile aromatic compounds. So volatile in this instance refers to the fact that they can change their state quickly. So as soon as you open a bottle of oil, you can smell the aroma even from a distance. They are the aromatic compounds of a plant. So for example, when you experience the smell of a rose or a lily or something, they are the essence of a plant. They originate from various different parts of the plant, so they come from the bark, the wood, leaves, needles, flowers, roots and peel. They're extracted and then distilled, mainly through steam distillation or expression for citrus fruits. And this allows us to use their wonderful properties to enhance our physical and emotional health naturally. They are the immune system of a plant, so they are what keeps a plant strong in its own environment. They're compounds of a plant that protect it from any kind of environmental threats. Plants have to be made of tough stuff to survive some of the conditions that they grow in. And if you've ever seen the conditions of the boswellia tree that grows, the conditions that this tree grows in, that we get frankincense oil from, then you will understand, and you do because I've just shown you it. Okay, why should we use essential oils? So, providing that we're using them responsibly and following safety guidelines, they are completely safe to use. As I'm about to touch on, these oils are extremely potent, so we do have to educate ourselves on using them. Our bodies recognise essential oils, they feel familiar, it's something that is known to our bodies, but we can often struggle with something that's man-made. Therefore, they work with our bodies, so we don't build up a resistance. Unlike man-made things like antibiotics, for example. Essential oils are taken in by our body and they travel to where they're needed, and whatever is not used is discarded by the body, which is why it's better to apply oils often, so little and often. And so no matter where you put an oil on your body, it's going to get to where it needs to be. Oils can be used in many different ways to promote our health naturally and relieve many day-to-day issues, from skincare and digestive health and immune support to pain management, hormone balancing, lifting our mood and energy levels, and toxin-free cleaning. These are just a few examples of how we can support ourselves and our families with these wonderful natural solutions. And one of the images in this slide shows my medicine cabinet, which I updated a few weeks ago after, it's been in the cupboard for goodness knows how long, totally untouched, but I think because it was in the cupboard out the way, I've just forgotten about it. So that's all been sorted out now, and I felt like a kind of big sigh of relief after doing that. As I said, these oils are extremely potent, so we only need a small amount of oil in one use, which makes them really cost effective. Usually at this point in a live class, I would do the peppermint experience to let you experience the power and potency and why we only need a small amount. If any of you have experienced this and would like to share, please feel free. And if not, then all I'll say is 1 drop of peppermint essential oil is the equivalent of 28 cups of peppermint tea. So that's they certainly pack a punch. So some safety guidelines. So best to avoid using on sensitive areas, such as our eyes. So you can obviously use oils for your eyes, but use them around your eyes rather than in your eyes. Your inner ears and your nose. If you do get oil in your eye, you want to be using a carrier oil to remove it. Please don't use water, because it's just not going to get rid of it. Dilute for topical use. Some oils can be used neat. A lot of oils can be used neat, but I don't recommend it. It's always better to use a carrier oil to use for topical use, especially for new to essential oils, just because you just don't know how your skin's going to react. Diluting does not affect the potency of the oil, and it has many benefits. It can help to carry the oil onto the skin and into the skin, and it can also help to spread the oil over a larger area, therefore needing to use even less oil. And carrier oils can actually help to hydrate your skin too. know your hot oils and warm oils. Hot oils are clove, cinnamon, oregano, thyme and cassia. These oils must be diluted before topical use. I have experienced myself the burn from oregano when I used it on my nose after I got a little infection on my piercing, and yeah, it's very, very warm, so always make sure that you dilute it properly. So recommendations for these oils is 1 drop of essential oil to 10 drops of carrier oils. Some people dilute a little more, some people a little less. It really depends on your sensitivity levels. And again, it won't affect excuse me, the potency of the oil. And also, if you weren't overly happy about using one of these hot oils, there's usually an alternative oil that you can use with similar properties. Warm oils would be something like peppermint can sometimes be classed as a warm oil, wintergreen, lemongrass, and black pepper, I think. So these are warm, so they wouldn't necessarily, maybe more aimed at children or people with sensitive skin. You know, again, it depends on your sensitivity levels. What I feel is warm or hot for me might not be for somebody else. Always remember to store your oils in the dark. Try and keep them in a dark, cool place out of direct sunlight. Less is more. So we should always start off with a lower amount of oil, so 1 drop, for example, and then build up. It's easier, obviously, to build up than it is to try and remove some if you've got too much. As I said, these oils are extremely potent, so you should only ever usually need a maximum of about 3 drops. Children and the elderly or anybody with sensitive skin are always going to need a stronger dilution. Essential oils are safe. Our essential oils are safe to use on children, providing you're using the correct dilution. Very dependent on the age of the child. The younger the child, the heavier the dilution. There are some oils that can be used on babies, such as lavender or Roman chamomile. These are lovely, gentle oils that can be used on babies. With babies, it's always better to use, apply them topically on the soles of their feet. To start with, you could potentially, you know, if they had a wee upset tummy, move to if using them on their feet didn't kind of ease the symptoms, you could apply it to their tummy, but it's always better to start off on their feet. Photosensitivity. So citrus oils can cause photosensitivity, so you want to avoid going out in direct UV or sunlight for between 12 and 24 hours after using citrus oils topically. And this includes blends as well. There's some blends that have citrus oils in them. If you are planning on being out in the sun, apply the oil somewhere the sun doesn't shine, and that's not a euphemism for anything. I just realised after reading that out, it doesn't maybe sound quite right. It sounds a bit cheeky. So you can also consider using a different oil. So, you know, if you're wanting to use lemon for its uplifting properties, for example, or for cleansing, you know, you could use, I don't know, melaleuca, and that's good for cleansing. Or, you know, I put it on, if it was for emotional aspects, then that's not a good example because you're going to inhale them for emotional use. You get what I mean? Goodness, this is a terrible class. I do apologise. Anyway, do your research, empower yourself and enjoy your oils, and probably don't ask me not to do anyway. Oh goodness. Okay, how to use essential oils. So we can use them many different ways. Green cleaning is a good example, so you can make your own cleaning products, and this really helps to reduce the toxic load for yourself and your family. It's a whole other class. but for ourselves, we can use them aromatically, topically, and internally. So for aromatical use, you could use them in a cold water diffuser, put a few drops in, you can mix and match, so there's like limitless amounts of blends that you can have in your diffuser. You could pop a drop in the palm of your hands, rub your hands together and just inhale. You can inhale just straight from the bottle. You can use them with diffuser jewellery, so you get little necklaces and bracelets that have like a little bit lava rock on them. So you can, it's porous, so it absorbs the oil, and then nice because you can smell it all day. Well, I'm not sure all day, maybe you have to top it up. I've never used them before. You can also pop a drop on a tissue or on a cotton wool ball. These are great to pop in the car or to put in a drawer if you wanted to kind of scent the drawer. Aromatic use is a great way to support ourselves emotionally with essential oils. Topical use, so we can apply them to our pulse points, our temples, back of our neck, down the spine. Down the spine is a good place for children, young children especially, because they can't touch it, can't reach it there. We can also apply them to the reflect points on our hands and feet, or you can apply them directly to the area of concern. Just keep in mind the safety points that we've just spoken about for topical use. Before we talk about the last way to use them, I'd just like to point out that these methods, and especially this last method, apply only to doTerra essential oils, because we know that these oils are 100% pure. As I said, there's so many companies out there selling oils that they're claiming to be pure, when in fact an essential oil only has to be something like 3% essential oil for it to be classed as pure, which is quite frightening, because that means that 97% of that is, well, we just don't know. doTerra are a science-based company. They are massive on doing their research and ensuring their oils are 100% pure and completely safe for internal use. So internal use. So we can add them to food, like when you're cooking or baking. Sometimes it's better to use a little toothpick to add them in. For especially oils like oregano, it's very, very strong. It's such a powerful oil. It reminds me of pizza. It's a great oil to clean with, but you don't necessarily want your house smelling of pizza all the time. But again, if you're adding it to cooking, just a little bit on a toothpick, and it's easier to build it up. We can add them to a teaspoon of honey, a glass of water. You can pop a drop under your tongue, or we can take them in a veggie cap, which I don't have any of, but in the picture, I don't know if you'll be able to see the girl that's holding a little veggie cap. These oils are a huge investment into your health and well-being, and having them in your life will change your life 100%. I guarantee it. Does anybody have any questions at the moment? Nope. Cool. Almost done. So these are just some helpful tools that I thought might be handy to talk about that you might need for on your little oily journey. So roller bottles. So these are like that. They come in all different colours. You can get 10 mils, 5 mils, and these are great for making up like loads of different blends. So this has got wild orange and peppermint in it, this one, and this is really nice and energizing, uplifting. Again, like a diffuser, there's like no end to what you can make up in your roller bottles. Roller bottles are obviously good for topical use, so pulse points and everywhere really. And like, honestly, if you could smell me right now, part of my class prep, I'm like, oh, what shall I wear? So books are good. These are two books that I have, the Advanced Oil Magic and Modern Essentials. There's various different apps that you can get as well. Modern Essentials has an app. That is a paid for app, but I think it's only about £4, £4 or £5. It's not much at all, and it's great for if you're out and about somewhere and you're thinking somebody asks you something. It's super handy to have. And again, the books are really handy to have as well. And before too long, you'll find yourself taking that to bed with you instead of a regular book. Carrier oil, obviously. So carrier oil, fractionate coconut oil, you get almond oil, jojoba oil, loads of different ones, and I think they all have different benefits. So the jojoba oil is a nice oil to use on your face, and fractionate coconut oil is just I think a general good all-rounder, that's the two oils that I use at the moment anyway, my two carriers. Pipettes are handy for making up your roller bottles, also for making up your veggie caps as well, if you make up little veggie caps. You can just drip the oil out the bottle, but if you're making up quite a few veggie caps, you can end up kind of losing a little bit of oil, so pipettes are really handy for that. And the little essential oil key at the bottom there, which is great for getting the little orifice droppers off the top of the bottles, and also getting the tops off roller bottles, although I did find out recently that you can use the lid of the roller bottle and kind of prise it off as well if you don't have a key or a knife handy. Last slide. Thank you so much for your patience. My goodness, this has been interesting. So if you are looking to purchase some oils, I'll just run through quickly your options to buy. So there's two prices with doTerra. There's retail prices and wholesale prices. Retail are just retail prices, it's just what they are. Or you could open up a wholesale account and save some money. So wholesale account costs £24 for a year's membership. Some enrolment kits have the membership fee waived, so if you wanted to find out more about that, just ask. It costs £18 to renew after a year, but you get a free bottle of peppermint essential oil upon renewal. So when you open up a wholesale account, you get 25% off the cost of retail, which is a huge saving. You get the option to join the Loyalty Rewards Programme, which is a programme that involves a monthly order. You build up to receive, you start off at 10% and build up to eventually, after just over a year, I think it is, 30% back in points. So for every order over 50 PV on a monthly basis, you would receive back, so as I said, initially 10%, and then eventually you build up quarterly to 30%, which is really amazing. I haven't heard of another loyalty rewards program quite like it. You also get the option to receive the free product of the month. You get the option to receive your shipping back in points, and having your own wholesale account means that you can order whatever you like, whenever you like. You don't have to get in touch with me and then wait for it to come to me and then for me to get it to you. And obviously the best thing of all about having a wholesale account is having my ongoing support. If you would like to have a free sample, please contact me after the class and I am more than happy to send some samples to you. As I say, there's kits available. For example, the kit that I started off with, if you're looking to try a few different oils, the Family Essentials kit has the top 10 oils in it, and that's, for me, I would say that's the best way. Or there's the Home Essentials kit, which has the same oils as the Family Essentials, except they're in the bigger bottles. The Family Essentials kit has it's little 5ml bottles, but the Home Essentials kit has the larger 15ml bottles, and it has a lovely little petal diffuser with it. If you would be interested in hosting a class or anybody, any friends that would like to host a class, please feel free to contact me. Gather some friends, and I'll happily teach an online class for you. There's always a little gift for the host too, or I'm also available for one-to-one chats for you, or anybody that might like to try anything. And that is me. So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen so I can see you all. Hi, and please feel free to unmute yourself and ask any questions, or if you've got any feedback at all.
Thanks very much, Kirsty. I really enjoyed that. It was brilliant.
Thank you. I do apologise. I'm just gonna I'll stop the recording just now actually.